Sandra.
I'm Alan.
And this is AJ&K Lifestyle. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for your support, for your likes, for your subscribes, for your views.
For your subscribes.
And for every person that subscribed, I want to thank you, because this is something that we want to do, and this is something that we wish could move forward and get bigger. Our goal is to our short-term goal is to at least get to 100 subscribers. So please, if you like our videos, please subscribe and hit the subscribe button at the end.
And the like button.
And the like button.
And the post notifications.
And the post. You could tell that I'm new to this.
I'm trying to help her get into it. That's why I'm making her do the intro and stuff. So yeah. And basically what we're doing now is that we're changing our schedule, because usually we post every other day or whatever. What we're gonna do is try to do for Monday, Friday, and maybe Sunday. That's gonna be our schedule for now. So just so you know, that's gonna be our schedule.
So click the post notifications button. Use that in the right term.
For the first time.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into the video. So what we're going to do is, if you guys like wrestling or not, this is a video for us that basically says what our top 10 favorite matches each are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this will either, if you like wrestling, you can enjoy, comment what you guys agree, if you guys don't agree on our list. But if you guys are new to wrestling, maybe this could get you into wrestling, and maybe you could watch one of the matches that we explain.
So what we're gonna do is that she's gonna say her 10, then I'm gonna say my 10. Basically, we're gonna alternate. Like she's gonna say 10, and I'm gonna say my 10. And she's gonna say her 9, I'm gonna say my 9. Basically like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So let's get into it. So my number one match would be Kevin Owens versus.
Number 10 match.
Number 10 match would be. Oh, I just had a stroke.
Second time in a video, man. Okay, you know, say your 10.
Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor at NXT for the NXT Championship in a ladder match.
Ooh, that was a good
Now that match was a good match because it was so good. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday.
I feel bad for not having that on my list.
Just the fact Kevin Owens is just an amazing wrestler. He's one of my current favorite wrestlers, and Finn Balor is an underrated superstar, but he's getting there back. So he went back to NXT, and I'm glad that he's at least getting noticed and using like his talents. So this was an amazing match. So you guys, if you guys have the WWE Network, you should try to watch it if they have it up. It is one of the greatest NXT matches. I like in the beginning, like I love it. That's just
I love it. Okay, and my 10 is also another Finn Balor match, but with this one being Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam 2016?
I think it was
2016.
All I remember from my knowledge.
See, the thing is, I don't remember exact years of it. I just remember the match.
All I remember from the knowledge is that after that match, he hurt his shoulder.
It's my top 10. So. Shush. So basically what happened was Finn Balor beat Seth Rollins, two of my favorite wrestlers now, and he beat him with the coup de grace, right?
Yeah.
That's his finishing move. And after the reason why I remember this so well is because, one, it was my dad's birthday the next day, and we watched it after. Excuse me. And two, the other reason why I remember it so well is because the next night on Raw, he dislocated his elbow or shoulder or something.
It was his shoulder.
Yeah, it was his shoulder, and he had to relinquish the title, which was very heartbreaking, honestly, because he was the first ever Universal Champion, and then they had to get rid of the title.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your number 9?
So my number 9 is Undertaker versus Edge, WrestleMania 24. Now this is an underrated match that I don't think it's underrated. Like, that not a lot of people talk about. I think that was the best match of WrestleMania 24, in my opinion.
You can't say that shit.
Other than the Money in the Bank match.
No, you can't say that. Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels, man.
That was an iconic match.
Iconic match.
But
Why
for
do you talk like that?
But for me, Edge is the number one. Undertaker's a legend. Edge is a legend in his own mind. Both of them together just put on an epic match. It
was good.
It was just an amazing match. The finish was great. It was what was it?
I haven't watched that match in forever. You've seen it recently, so you know.
What is his submission called?
The Hell's Gate.
Hell's Gate. So he put Edge in the Hell's Gate, and that was the finish.
I don't remember the finish.
Usually and it was the streak. So it was a streak match for WrestleMania, and you gotta love the streak because of nostalgia. If you don't love the streak, what kind of wrestling fan are you?
A fan that doesn't like Undertaker.
Undertaker just is amazing, Edge is amazing, and that's why he's my number 9 pick.
All right, for my number 9.
And I keep getting jumpy because
Can you shut up for 2 seconds?
head sugar.
Shut up. Shut up. God damn. Don't speak. Okay, my number 9 is Edge versus Mick Foley, the hardcore match, WrestleMania 22.
Ooh, that's a good one.
This is possibly one of the best hardcore matches WWE's ever produced because it had everything. It had Edge's girlfriend interfering, and she got barbed wire to the mouth or something like that, and she was all bloody. And then it had thumbtacks. It had table smashes.
He speared Mick Foley.
Can I say it, please? Shut up! It said it had literally everything. It had it had ladders or something.
I think so. All I remember is because I think I watched
Lots of baseball shots.
Lots of baseball bats, lots of barbed wire. Edge actually speared Mick Foley, but he had barbed wire wrapped around him, so that
Can I talk about my match, please? That I picked. Shut up. God damn, so annoying. And then the finish was Edge speared Mick Foley through a flaming table, which resulted in the pinfall. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just
the most epic moment.
Yeah,
if you
it
look
was
back
such
in
a good
history
match.
for WrestleMania 22, all you see is the
It's
flaming
by far one of the top like 50 what the fuck moments, because like it was just amazing. Just the spectacle of seeing someone going through a flaming table and then them both shaking after, like it was just amazing.
So
all right, you're number 8.
My number 8.
Can I talk through your whole match too, or are you gonna like shut up?
So my number 8 match is at WrestleMania 21 when it was Shawn Michaels versus Triple H
versus Triple Threat.
It was a triple threat. So it was Shawn Michaels versus Triple H versus Chris Benoit. This is when Chris Benoit, I said it, but this is when Chris Benoit.
So cringy. I said it.
This is when Chris Benoit won his first World Heavyweight Championship. And the reason why it was an iconic moment was at the end when Eddie Guerrero came out and basically celebrated with him. They were both world champions and they both celebrated, and it was the most iconic moment in
It was just so
wrestling.
weird because they're both champions at the same time too. Like that was.
And the match was just epic. It was a great match. 3 legends to see him finally make his dream come true. Even though the things that he did prior to the end of his life.
We don't need to talk about that. If you're a wrestling fan, you know what he did. Personally, I don't believe it, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Doing whatever he did does not take away from anything he's done in the ring because he is a Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And this number 8, right?
Yeah.
So my personal number 8 is Undertaker versus Edge in a SummerSlam Hell in a Cell match. See, we recorded this before, but it messed up, and that was Cassandra's one of her favorite matches. She has it on her list later in the video, and personally, I think that this is probably one of the best Hell in a Cell matches of all time.
I think one of them. There's a good set of Hell in a Cell matches, but that's one of
This
the
has
top
to be
2.
one of the top. Not only did it happen at SummerSlam, but it had 2 of the biggest legends of all time. It had some of the most hardcore spots, and just not the finish, because the finish it was all right, but the ending after when he comes back to the ring and chokeslams him through the ring, that's iconic.
Just the build for the match alone.
Yeah, it was a good 1.5 year build. Like it was just such a good match, honestly. That's why I have it on my number 8.
So now we have number 7.
Yeah, 7 comes after 8.
So my number 7 match would be Sasha Banks versus Bayley at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Now, for women, if you are a wrestling fan, you've been a longevity wrestling fan.
What?
The women never showcased anything, and that was
I mean, it was for good reason because the women that they hired, they didn't have talent.
But what happened was they did have talent. Lita, Trish
Some,
Stratus,
yeah, I'll admit some.
and they didn't let the women showcase their full potential.
Of course.
They were
yeah.
only used as sexual objects. Now, when I watched the Sasha Banks versus Bayley match, it made me believe that women wrestling is just as good as the men's wrestling.
Maybe even better.
Maybe even better. And the thing is that it was just an amazing match. they fought and they fought, and it was just so good that Triple H came out and congratulated both of them, which was an amazing moment for me as being a female wrestler to look on and to basically look to and basically base my wrestling career on what they've done.
See, I feel like a dick because honestly, that would be like my 11th favorite personally. Like that's not on my list. Because personally, I don't watch a lot of women's wrestling.
I just thought it was a revolution.
No, it's a great match. Trust me, don't get me wrong. It's a great match. Personally, I feel like basically like that's the only really good match they've had. Like for me to put something on the list, it has to be a great wrestler and know they had good matches before. That could be just one match. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean,
I just thought it was revolutionary for the women, and it basically started a tier that the women are up here and they're not down here, and we're not just a bathroom break anymore.
Definitely not. Women's wrestling has been revolutionized in WWE, in my opinion. And my number 7, it's my DIY, which is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus The Revival, which is Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder at TakeOver Toronto, which I actually went to.
We actually went to.
I was gonna say that. Give me a second. You don't have to come in with your little shut up. I'm talking. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. But yeah, so basically, this is an event I actually went to live with Cassandra and her boyfriend Harry. And yeah, it was just one of the better matches of the year, honestly.
I feel like it was the match of the year. To be honest, it was really good. Like, being there live was sick. Like,
can I talk about it, please? Thank you. So basically, in my opinion, like just watching it live, I had no expectations for this match. I knew they were both great wrestlers, like all 4 of them. They were great wrestlers, but like I didn't expect it to be one of the best matches of the year. Because like usually when I have no faith in WWE to make really good matches, like all the time. So basically like, yeah. But this match blew it out of the water. Like just the ending when they were when the Revival were holding on to each other, trying not to tap out, and they eventually just had to tap out. That was just, you could feel the energy in the arena. Especially when we were there, you could just feel it. It was so good.
And honestly, I think it was their first tag team win, was it?
No, it wasn't.
As a for the championship?
No, it wasn't.
As you could tell, I didn't watch wrestling that much at the time.
You still don't.
But it was it was just an amazing moment, and that's actually my.
No, you watched wrestling. You just didn't watch a lot of NXT. I watched a lot of NXT. Now I don't watch NXT.
Well, I'm
you
just
watch
gonna
NXT.
basically recap on that because that's my number 6 match. So I might as well continue talking about it.
Yeah, if you want.
So just the energy while we were there, the chants, everything. It was just such a good match. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match, so we didn't know when it was gonna end, and we just never wanted it to end. That's how good it was. It was just so good, and that's what makes wrestling. A wrestling fan love wrestling is when a match you don't want it to end. You just want them to wrestle forever, and that's what they made us do in Toronto that day.
That match, honestly, is just like, and it followed. It was like that NXT Takeover was hit after hit after hit after hit. Like all those matches, I wouldn't rate them as well as that match, but like they were all like 3-star and up, like at least.
Let's just tell you, after Takeover, we had no voices. We were screwed, and my voice was shot. And I went to Survivor Series the next night. Yeah. So.
I was watching at home. I didn't go. They were doing an anniversary thing or whatever, so I didn't want to,
Okay, so now your number 6.
My number 6, right?
Yeah.
So my number 6, personally, is the WrestleMania 24 Money in the Bank ladder match. The reason why is because the star power in this match. We have Carlito, Shelton Benjamin, Chris Jericho, right? Yeah, he was in it. CM Punk, Mr. Kennedy before he turned into a jobber, John Morrison, MVP at its peak.
Matt Hardy returned.
Can I speak it, Cassandra? God damn it! All these good things. Like, look at all these good things in this match. And then not only that, but they used their star power to make the match good. Like, there was flips. John Morrison held a ladder and did a moonsault at the top into all the guys. Carlito and, I think, Jericho?
I think so.
Yeah, Jericho and Mr. Kennedy pushed Shelton Benjamin off the ladder, and he flew over the top rope and did a flip through a ladder. Like, how do you beat that? You know what I mean? And then to top it off, they did an ongoing feud 6 months earlier when Matt Hardy returned and Twist of Fated MVP off the ladder. Like, that's just perfect storytelling. You're keeping the storytelling going. You know what I mean?
It was a good match.
And then honestly, the reason why it's really capped it off is that it's basically shot CM Punk into the superstar he is today because everyone knows him now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before, he was not as big. He was still big. Everyone cheered for him, but now he's huge, and people wish he could come back. That was one of his shooting stars, and then he won it again the next year.
Yeah. So he's a 2-time Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I think they messed up by taking the Money in the Bank ladder match away from WrestleMania.
Definitely.
I think that was the best match all time that you
And
could
I'm
have on the card.
And I'm personally sad because we only got to watch 3 of them at WrestleMania because we started watching wrestling after WrestleMania 24. So yeah, sucked for us, but I mean.
So my 5th match is actually one of my brothers that said it was Edge versus Undertaker at SummerSlam Hell in a Cell 2008.
I think I talked a little bit enough of that. You can just go a little bit though.
Just my favorite part of the match was just the storytelling and then the fact that Edge speared Undertaker through the cell. It was just my little body was like, oh my god. Like it was exciting. It's one match that I can never stop watching. I know everything that goes on. I know every single part of the match, every second. But
That's kind of sad.
But I will never stop watching it because that's one of the matches that I actually love.
Definitely.
So because my brother talked too much about it, I'm not gonna go too much more in detail.
It's number 5, right?
Yes.
Okay, my personal number 5 is where's my number 5? It's Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho in a ladder match at No Mercy 2009. The reason why I say this match is so good is because personally it's not their best match that they've had, but in my opinion it's the one that had like the most build, because I feel like their unsanctioned match kind of came out of nowhere. I feel like the WrestleMania 19 match didn't have too much of a build, but this is the match that like really started the feud in my opinion. And it's just like just all the shit that happened.
Just their rivalry in 2008 was
like they were
good.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just amazing. It was like the best rivalry of 2008.
Cassandra.
In my opinion.
Cassandra, can I speak about it now? You've done this 4 times. Goddamn. But yeah, basically their feud was one of the best, like she said. And pretty much, honestly, yeah, just the match itself was good. They had a good finish where they were both fighting for the title. And then, yeah, Chris Jericho, basically, they made it look like he was the best heel ever because he just barely escaped with the title. And then after, I found this out after, I didn't really notice this during the match, but Jericho actually got 1 or 2 teeth knocked out, and he was bloody after the match. Kind of seen it in an interview. And basically, yeah, the match was just very brutal. Like, it was just a brutal match.
And then when you go and look at their unsanctioned match, it was even better.
No, I don't think it was better.
So, we're on the 3rd now?
That was my 5th, so you're 4th.
My 4th.
Cassandra, 4 comes after 5.
I think I have 3. 1.
What comes after 5, Cassandra? 3?
I only have 3 matches.
Did you not count them?
The Shawn Michaels.
You have 10 matches there. Pick one.
So, the next match would be the Shawn Michaels versus John Cena at the following Raw after the WrestleMania 23 match.
That didn't make my list.
They went on a Raw, no lie, for 1 hour, and it was a show stealer.
It was a show stealer.
It was a good match. It was at the time FU super kick, FU super kick. It was just so good. They basically.
By the way, the
so
FU is John Cena's finisher.
Yeah. So it was basically storytelling after storytelling, and the match was just so good. And I think it was in Britain. Was it in?
I don't know. You're the one supposed to do the research.
I think it was England, but it was one of the best matches on Raw that I've seen. That would it. Basically, it's not to par with Shawn Michaels' Iron Man match with Bret Hart, but
which you still haven't seen yet, by the way, just so you know.
But it was a really good match, and to me, it was just something that I always look back on, and would also, if I'm ever bored or want to watch wrestling, I would look back and go watch the match.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the only honest takeovers that I've watched live recently. But this is an old match, but I mean, it's basically one of the better takeover matches in my opinion. It is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn from TakeOver Texas. And that's my number 3 because just like, because one, it was Shinsuke Nakamura's first ever match, and you all know he is my favorite wrestler. And it was his first match in WWE. It was Sami Zayn's last match in NXT. And it just had that feel of a big fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like, how do we know this guy's going to be great? But then he does that first match, and like, honestly, I know he hasn't lived up to that ever since. The storytelling, the moves, the emotion, like, it was just so good. Did you watch it?
I saw parts of it.
You saw.
At the time, I was working every weekend. So.
No, you're at your man's house. Lie to the people. But yeah, that's my number 3, and I just personally think that was a good match just because it was his first match and Sami Zayn's last match in NXT.
So wait, I still have my 3rd.
No, you went first, Cassandra.
But I still have 3.
How do you have 3? Oh my god, you're supposed to have 2 left.
So, no, because I have 3. 1, 2, 3.
How do you have 3 left?
So my 3rd one would be WrestleMania 17, the Triple Threat Ladder match.
I swear she went first.
Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys. Now, the most iconic moment was when Edge speared Jeff Hardy off the ladder. Well, Jeff Hardy was hanging, grabbing the title, and Edge just speared him off of the ladder, and that was just the most iconic moment for me.
Oh wait, I think I actually messed up and said 3rd instead of 4th. So yeah, I think I messed up actually.
So that was one of the most iconic wrestling moments in my eyes that made me love that match. And the match was just hardcore. If you like hardcore wrestling, then that's the match for you. If you like technical wrestling, then maybe that wouldn't be the match for you. But just for the entertainment, that was entertaining for me. As a
Which
wrestler.
match?
The WrestleMania 17.
That's actually the next match I was going to talk about. It was my 4th, but I think I messed up, and I said my 3rd instead of my 4th, so my bad. But I'm just going to talk about this match. For me, for my personal opinion, is that this match is one of the best because it features the top 3 tag teams of that generation, and then there was interference from all the managers that they had, Spike Dudley, Rhino, Lita, and it was just like, honestly, it just deserved to be in that in one of the best WrestleManias of all time. And just that spear off the ladder.
Yeah, it's iconic.
We all know that spear. Just if you know, you know. All right, so the next one.
So my 2nd one is when Eddie Guerrero faced Brock Lesnar at No Way Out 2004, and that was when he won the WWE Championship. Now.
Oh my god, we both have the same number 1. I'm done.
So the reason why I love this match so much is because whoever's seen Eddie Guerrero and his wrestling ability, it was amazing, and he was better than when his time was.
Yeah.
He was so good. Rest in peace. He is my favorite wrestler of all time. But his wrestling ability was so good, and I'm so glad that they put the title on him before he died. It was like literally like a year before he died.
Yeah, I believe so.
Literally, it was a year before he died, and he was the champion. And this is what it ties into when Chris Benoit won the championship, because then you have 2 guys that are on top of the company that are amazing, that aren't the biggest guys, but they're both
You never
amazing,
thought they would be.
that you'd never think that they'd be champion, but then WWE took their guys and put them as champion. And it was just, as a fan, and in my heart, I was just like, thank God for Eddie Guerrero.
Even though you didn't watch it, but I mean, you watched it back.
Watching back, it just, his wrestling ability made me love Eddie Guerrero, and that's why he's my favorite wrestler. And that's why he's number 2.
Should have been number 1 then.
Well, there was more better matches.
Alright, so my number 2 is Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. Honestly, you can go either way with these matches because honestly, they're either 4.5 or 5 stars in my book. But I go in with the last man standing match because honestly, it was just the only one I really saw. So I mean, personally, I think Sandra, you want to announce that you're itchy. So yeah, but basically, it's just like because they had like that. I think it was one of the street clothes, right?
think so. I didn't watch the match.
Well, either way, that wasn't the last match anyway, that's the one I'm going to talk about because that's the one I saw. So they were wearing street clothes, so you knew it was going to be hardcore. You knew they were going to get beat the hell up, and you knew that it was going to be a good match because just those were the two top guys in the company, which didn't really make sense because literally 2 years before they were nobodies. Like they grew. Oh my god, there's a fly! It scared me. They grew themselves by being a tag team, turned on each other, and then
Turned on.
She pisses me off. They turned on each other, and then they became the top heel and top face in the company, which is very astounding to go from nobody to the top guys in the whole company.
In NXT.
And yeah, just the match was one of the best. All 3 of their matches. I think they have 4 matches now.
I think they even had one previously.
Yeah, and also there's one at the Cruiserweight Classic that's amazing. They're just amazing. They're 2 have the best chemistry. They can just wrestle with anyone. They can wrestle with a broomstick and make it look good. That's just my opinion.
So, my number 1 match of all
Wait.
time.
Our number 1 match.
Drum roll, please.
I'm not putting that in. I'm not putting a drum roll. I'm gonna make it sound stupid.
Is
Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25 or 26.
Now,
I love we said that together.
in sync. Can you get a sibling like that?
I don't want a sibling like you.
No.
I'm stuck
But-
with her.
That match was just incredible. The suicide dive by Undertaker almost killing himself. To the moonsault outside the ring. No, actually to the moonsault catching into the tombstone. Just amazing. The amount of super kicks that Shawn Michaels gave him. And because it's the streak, Undertaker kicks out. And it's just, as a fan, it was just so entertaining.
Just all these matches. Let me say this. Just all these matches. Just the raw emotion. You really thought Shawn Michaels was gonna do it. Like in both
I'm getting
matches.
chills on my arm. just
Move your
thinking
arm. I
about
don't need your nasty arm on my face. Just like WrestleMania 25 and 26, you really thought that he was gonna do it. You never thought Shawn Michaels was gonna let it go and just retire. Like you always thought he was the guy. But alas, he didn't do it. But the matches that they did, holy crap, those were the best WWE matches of all time, in my opinion.
even recently.
No,
Like,
no,
of
no,
the
no,
20
not recently.
like,
Of
the
all
2000s.
time.
Yeah.
That's my personal favorite. That's my personal best match of all time. Like just the raw emotion. The first time, like someone is straight up kicked out of the tombstone that you didn't expect.
Even the storytelling going into for both years, the storytelling was just amazing.
The first year was he just wanted to face him. Second year is like Shawn Michaels put his career on the line. Undertaker wouldn't do it, and then Shawn Michaels super kicked Undertaker for him to lose the world title, and then he got
In the
pissed.
Elimination Chamber.
It's just like those 2 matches. I'm sorry, like I know it's supposed to be 1 match, but I can't choose between those
It's
2.
because they're equally as good.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't care if you hate on us.
They won't hate on us. We're too lovable.
So
yeah.
that was our top 10s. You can always comment and tell us what was your top 10.
Yes, definitely comment your top 10 if you can. Whoever watches the video who watches wrestling, please comment your top 10. We would love to know.
And this is basically a 2-parter. So the next video is going to be your guys' favorite matches.
Well, not
of
your
all time.
guys's, but like the people that commented on our post.
Yeah.
We don't know when that's going to be filmed. Could be
It's
next
a lot
week.
of wrestling to watch.
We haven't started. Because half these matches we have not watched. We're not going to lie.
But for you, we are going to do it for your entertainment
And we have nothing better to do, so yeah.
because we're in quarantine. So, like, share.
Wait. We have to finish. We have to do an outro.
Again, I don't know this.
Okay. So basically, yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Yeah, so, you got anything to say?
Like, share, comment, show us love.
We would love. And just turn on your post notifications. We do not have an outro yet, so this is still terrible. And yeah, that's pretty much it.